Ratchet Clank, a series known for many things, one of which being the weapons. But what if these tools of destruction weren't something Ratchet held, but something he wore? Because they're arms. You've clicked on the video, you read the title, you know what this is about, let's just get into it. Starting things off with the first weapon players are sure to use, the Bomb Omni Wrench. What? It counts. When designing this one, I knew I didn't want it to be a full suit of armor, as that feels a bit too much, so having it just be the arm I think was the right call in the end. I also wanted to make sure that the armors could still function in a similar way to how the weapons could. How I did this for the Omni Wrench is I made the end bit its own separate piece, allowing Ratchet to retract it into his arm to use his hand, or extend it out, allowing him to mimic doing the throwing, or hyper strike, zip line, bolt crank. You've played the game, you know what it can do. Or maybe you haven't played the game, and this is your first exposure to it. In that case, really weird place to start, but thanks? Overall, I'm happy with how this came out. Now, onto the next armor. The Bomb Glove armor is probably the weakest one I drew, gonna be honest. I feel I missed the mark a bit on this one, but there are still things I like in it. The mask was loosely inspired by those, I think they're fighter pilot masks, helmets, because I thought it'd be a great way to bring the tube more into the armor. The shield on his left arm, of course, protects him from explosions, but I also thought he could then use it to sort of like blast himself upwards over walls, or be a bit more creative with it, which doesn't really fit with what I just said the armors were for, and that kind of feels like how the whole armor is as a whole. I feel like it doesn't quite fit with what the concept is. I do think, in retrospect, it would have made a lot more sense to have the armor itself explode. As right now, it feels more like it's just the bomb glove with some extra features. Should I have gone with the other idea I had? Probably. Did I make this first and then think of that one? Yes. Am I lazy for not redoing it? Debatable. But now, onto an armor I think captures the concept perfectly, the Pyrocitor armor. I am extremely happy with how this one turned out, which is really funny considering I don't use the Pyrocitor often. It's not really interesting to me compared to the other weapons, but I think it translates into an armor amazingly. The tubes connect from the gauntlet to the canister on his back, allowing him to fire, but he can from, as you can see, the boot, the shoulders, and the knees as well. It works like how you imagine it would. He can of course fire at an enemy and set them on fire, as well as then I thought he can then activate all of the holes with fire. All in all, I think I did a great job with this, and this might be my favourite that I drew, or second favourite. I especially like the helmet turning the scope into the goggles. I thought was a very clever idea. Up next is the iconic blaster. Is it iconic? I think it is. Originally, I was going to actually have the blaster part be on top of the glove and have it fire out, but that didn't sit right with me, and I kept trying to adjust it and mess with it, but I just really didn't like it. But I wanted to avoid turning his arm into the barrel itself, because that felt too Mega Man or Metroid. But in the end I caved, and I actually think it looks great. It kind of almost gives his silhouette the shape of the blaster. I also gave him the scope as like a retina on the helmet, which I think was a nice touch. Another reason I designed it that way is I imagined it's sort of the bare minimum of armor. So yeah, you can have that and then just peek around a corner if you want to stay protected. It feels very fitting for something like Gadgetron to want to make you have to pay more if you want a full armor, and fits within the tone of the first game. The final armor of today's video is the Glove of Doom, and oh boy, did I have fun designing this one. My inspiration for this armor was, I remember hearing, I don't know how true it is, an early idea for Ratchet & Clank was Clank would be, I think it was 3 different robots that could attach to random parts of Ratchet's body, but they found that too hard to do on the PlayStation 2, so they just changed him to one on the back. I liked that idea, and I thought it would fit perfectly with the bots. Although this one's a bit less random, as they do have specific spots they attach to. Apart from that, they work how you would expect. They of course can detach, and after a while they will explode. And yes, the one on Ratchet's head also can come off. As the final armor I designed, I think I did very well and once again captured what this concept is. I think my favourite part is the big one on Ratchet's head with its legs sticking up, recreating the ears silhouette. I think that was a fun idea. But that's it, the first 5 weapons of Ratchet & Clank reimagined as suits of armors. I am interested in doing more and I have ideas, so if this video gets 10 likes, I'll make a part 2 where I'll cover the rest of the weapons, and heck, I'll even do the gold variants. So yeah, if you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe and all that other stuff that YouTubers tell you to do. Oh wait, am I a YouTuber now? Oh man. Alright, well, see you next time.